Okay, so we've talked about doing base 10 blocks to explain division of decimals, but I'm going to show you another method, and this is one that most of us are most likely going to use. You can't always whip out your base 10 blocks when you want to do division. So it looks something like this. You might be saying, but wait a minute, these aren't decimals. It's an equivalent fraction. 1/2 is equal to 10/20. All I did was multiply both the numerator and denominator by 10, and I got an equivalent fraction. 1/2 can be expressed this way, and it's very simple math. Multiplying by 10, add a 0. Multiply by 100, add 2 zeros. Or move the decimal place. So that's why we can do it with decimals. So check this out. What if I had a question like 0.42 divided by, and I know I'm not supposed to use the division sign anymore, but I'll just show you that in a second, divided by 0.2. Okay, the problem is when you do regular old long division, you're going to have the old issue of having decimal places in your divisor, and that gets really confusing as to where do you place your decimal. We know from experience of how to place your decimal when you have a whole number as your divisor, but that changes when you have both of them have decimals. So how do we fix it? I'm going to write this as a fraction. And I know that this is breaking the rules, but that's okay, that's how I roll. Whoops, sorry, I had a little blooper there with my pen. Just erase it, try it again. Okay, so we got 0.42 over 0.2. Okay, we know 0.42 divided by 0.2 could be represented like this, like a fraction. Now I have to ask myself, okay, I want to get rid of the decimals, and I could do it completely. I could do it completely by just making an equivalent fraction. If I multiply by 10 enough times, I can get rid of the decimals entirely. So how would I do that? Let's say I multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 10. When you multiply by 10, you move the decimal place one place to the right. And that's what's happening with 1 times 10. You move it one place to the right, and then you get 10. So if I multiply this times 10, my pen's not working too well, I would get 4.2. If I multiply this by 10, 0.2 times 10, I'm going to get 2. So I'm not done yet. I still got a decimal in my in one of my terms here, so I'm going to have to get rid of it by doing multiply by 10 again. Now a lot of you are cluing in. You go, oh, I could have just multiplied by 100 in the beginning because I know multiplying by 100 moves the decimal place twice. So then I'm going to end up with 42, divided by, what did I do? I moved the decimal place there, divided by 20. Okay, is this the same thing? Does it seem right? When we got over here, 4.2 divided by 2, 4 divided by 2 is around 2. Isn't that the same thing? 42 divided by 2 is around 2. I'm not changing anything. But now I have a division question that's much more comfortable. 42, I can do my long division, divided by 20. Okay, 42, or 20 goes into 42 twice. 2 groups of 20 is 40. That gives me a remainder of 2. I'll bring down a 0. I'm going to add my decimal point up here now. 20 goes into 21 time. So my answer is 2.1. Okay, so really what you're doing there is getting rid of your decimal points. And what we'll learn is you don't absolutely have to get rid of them from the dividend, but you do from the divisor. So let's take a look at that in the next tutorial.